So I had seen a prayer corner in a church and thought, what a lovely idea. However, we didn't have a practical space for one at the time. And then earlier this year, our tech desk was moved from this corner and put upstairs, which left this lovely space. So I put this to a meeting and said, what did we think? And those at the meeting were in favour. So that began the sort of planning for the prayer corner. There are various aspects to it. We have this beautiful cross which came from Howgate Church and actually has wood in it that came from Ephesus. And the gentleman who made it lives in Walkerburn. His wife is a member, and he explained all about it the day we dedicated the corner. We have in one corner we have a lovely little tree where people can just take a heart out of the basket, write a name, write a situation, write anything on it that they want, hang it on the tree. It's there for people to read without giving too much information. And we change the colours so that they're almost seasonal, if you like. We have another box where people can write down their confidential prayers. These are only taken and read by the minister, but he shares them at the prayer meeting, which again is everything at the prayer meeting is confidential, and he shares them where he thinks that's appropriate. Often it's just a Christian name. We don't know exact circumstances, but they are prayed for. We have a lovely book here in the corner which has daily prayers. The wall is interactive, so people can put prayers up. I found the grandparents' prayer. We've got ones that the children have done. We did a collective prayer when the corner was dedicated. So encourage people to, if they find anything, just to come and pin it up, put it up for other people to read.
This has been since June, so
yes,
it's a new initiative. Do you think the congregation are taking to it? What are the comments?
Lots of people at the time when we sort of launched it, if you like, they all said, oh, what a lovely idea, what a lovely space. And they can see the little candle burning in the morning, which is really nice. And it is used on Sundays. People feel they can come and have this protected space and they're not sitting amongst everyone else. They're not maybe going to get their prayers interrupted because it's clear, it's a quiet time, and this is where they can come and do that. People will come and pray on their own, or they might ask someone to come with them and pray for a specific situation, which is good and it's encouraging.
Heather, you are one of the team that lead intercessory prayers. You want to tell us how you got into that and what else Innerleithen does as regards prayers?
Well, yes, it's because of my age, it's in the dim and distant past, really, where I started my prayer life. And it started really was influenced even by my parents and school and church that I went to, Sunday school. Prayer was just a natural part of me, really from childhood, and which grew and developed. And when I really made a commitment to follow Christ when I was a teenager, then it developed even further, and particularly in the sense of being confident or not being afraid of being able to pray out loud where other people were around me. And that, I still get nervous about that even today, but I do know that it's important and it's helpful, and people have said that when I've led prayers for others that they found it beneficial and have thanked me for it. And so I've carried that from church to church wherever I've been. It's also part of my way of life because I'm not just an elder in this church, but I'm a member of the community of Aileen and Hilda. And prayer is an important part of that structure in my way of life. So it's in my daily living as well as in my church life as well. And yes, I would encourage anyone who may not feel ready to sort of stand up in front of everyone on a Sunday morning, that may come in time. But even just to go along to a prayer group, your own prayer group or somebody's prayer group, and just even if you can't pray out loud, just pray with, in the sense that you're being attentive to someone else's prayers. And it's valued because it's time spent with God. And I know that Aileen has a story about, a wonderful story about conversation with God, and that's what it is. It's this development of conversation with God, and it's not just speaking to God, but hearing what God says as well, and seeing answers to prayer. And it's amazing if you if you spend time in prayer, if you write down the things through a year even, and make a note of who or what you're praying for, and then go back over it after a year, it's amazing how it's rare that a prayer is not answered, or as one of my friends has said, you'll get a yes, no, or a not yet.
So do you have a journal, would you say?
Yes.
And you write prayers in that? Or what?
Sometimes I do. I probably haven't journaled quite the same way for a while, but I have in the past, where I've written quite a lot in a journal. And it's a great way to start. It depends. Different people do it different ways, and it can be done very creatively. It doesn't have to be prose. It can be pictures. It can be poems. It can be any way.
That's great.
But yes, I would encourage anybody to write down. And I think we've had a thank you jar before now, where we've encouraged each other. Where we've seen an answer to prayer, to put something, a card or something into a jar. And it's amazing how well that jar fills up just seeing an answer to prayer.
Jim, you're telling me how the prayer is involved in our meetings that you do, and of a special prayer time coming up.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I mean, for any meeting, yes, there's a time of prayer which is important. Sunday morning before the service, the minister and I are in the vestry having a prayer time, and it's so important that we do lay it all before the Lord, what we're about to do, and just asking guidance and help. And we're all looking forward to the National Day of prayer for our church, and we're going to be in here about 10:30 in the morning, having a cuppa first, and then 11 o'clock we'll be live streaming, and just after that having a prayer time and just enjoying that.
Perfect. Aileen, you were saying earlier that when you came to church, sometimes you thought prayer was a bit scary, but there was somebody who, the way that they prayed really inspired you and helped you, perhaps.
We had a lovely couple called Betty and David who came to Innerleithen on holiday. They had a wee flat, and they would come and join the services on Sunday, and they would come to the prayer meeting and Bible study, and Betty regularly prayed. And I'd clearly remember she would say things like, "Oh Lord, I can't remember who this person is, but you know who it is, and you know what they need." And it was really refreshing, but it was like you were sneakily peeking in on somebody's private conversation with God. It was just lovely. But that, I think, is how it should be, just straight from the heart.
And finally, how would you encourage others, or what would you say to others who say, "Oh, prayer's a bit difficult or tricky"?
Give it a go.
No. And if you're not sure of your own words, then use words that you hear perhaps on a Sunday. We've used the Lord's Prayer before now as an encouragement to pray regularly once a day, just with the Lord's Prayer. But others, as you can see, there are resources here that people can use and take away with them, or say, or ask about a book from any of us. And we say, well, you can use this will help you as well.
Great. Excellent. Thank you so much.